Hey there, it's Elayna, your design thinking and mindset coach. And this is Relax and Remix. So, relax and remix. If this is your first time, this is an opportunity for us to relax and to be mindful and to take a moment to connect with an intention that is going to help us in the days to come. And then we're going to take a little bit of time and remix. So the remix is all about taking the things that we learned from this past week and thinking about how we want to change our approach going into the week ahead. And I'm giving you a little preview into the journal that I'm developing, that I will be releasing and sharing with the world. Looking forward to it. And I figured, let me share a little bit along the way because, this is important work, the work that we're doing within. And I just want to go ahead and start getting it out there a little bit. All right. So the intention for this week is accountability. Well, I say for this week, this is an evergreen video. Whenever you are watching this, your intention, if you choose it to be, can be accountability. Now, accountability may not be the regular kind of, uh, you know, um, intention that you've heard of. Usually people say, "Ooh, I want more peace. Ooh, I want to embody abundance." And then I feel like no one ever says, "I want to embody accountability." But that's what we want from everyone, right? Like, don't we desire accountability from the people in our lives? How good does it feel when you ask someone to do something and then they show up for that thing? Or someone says they're going to do something and then they do it. And so that feeling is something that is important to share with other people and with ourselves by being accountable to the habits that we've chosen for ourselves or any of the agreements that we made with ourselves and other people. And I just knew for myself, like I'm in this season where accountability has been crucial for my next step in what I'm going to do, running my own business, working on contract jobs. Like I'm the boss and I'm the employee. Okay. So I have to be accountable for these things that I've committed myself to. And I know you have some things in your life that you have committed yourself to, whether it is your family and your children, whether it is a job or an organization, there's always something for you to show up to. And the most important thing is yourself. So I hope that maybe your relationship with accountability can shift and grow in the days to come to be a little bit more about self love. How loving and how caring is it, to show up for yourself? And it's about giving love. How beautiful is that expression of love? Showing up accountable for what you told people you were going to do or how you decided and agreed to show up as in a relationship. So think about that love aspect with accountability in these days to come. And here is an experiment that you can do to help take your experimentation and application of accountability to the next level. So, this experiment is based off of Warren Buffett's 5-25 rule. So, Warren Buffett pretty much said the way that he's able to get so many things done is that he writes down 25 goals and then he prioritizes the goals and just focuses on the top 5 and then forgets about the other 20. Like the other 20 are just going to be a distraction. If you really want to get a lot of things done, a few things done with high value, instead of a lot of things done with low impact, focus just on the top 5. And so that's step number 1. Identify your top 5 goals. All right. So if you need to pause, take a moment, figure out what your top 5 goals are. All right. You got your top 5 goals? Great. Now you're going to assign a daily action to each of these goals. So, one thing I meant to mention that I also want you to write down is that I usually have my clients, my mindset clients, pick an emotional state that they want to focus on cultivating. So, then that is a context for these goals. So, it could be peace, it could be love. What is the emotional state that you would love to cultivate during this season of accountability? And so you have your emotion, then you have your 5 goals. Now you're going to take a moment and write down 5 actions. It'll be 1 action per goal. And what daily action will be sustainable? That's the key word, boo. Sustainable. We don't want to try to do everything. One simple daily task. So this is my example for you. So I wrote down, so my focus right now is love. That is my emotional state that I am cultivating and growing in this season. And one of my goals is to have a strong body and endurance and vitality. And so, and if I want to be even more specific and add a measurement in that, I want to feel 50% stronger and have 50% higher level of endurance inside of my body and vitality. My action each day is going to be to walk or to dance. And I wrote down about 5 days a week as like the benchmark. And so I'm going to walk or I'm going to dance pretty much every day in order to help myself feel stronger, have more vitality, and more endurance. So pause the video one more time for yourself. Figure out for each of your 5 goals what's going to be your daily action. All right. I hope you paused. I hope you paused. All right, so now we're going to go into the final step, and the final step for you is actually, no, not the final step, but the step while you're going about your daily task. It would be to log this. So this is my moment to give you a little preview of the journal. So there is a daily habit tracker, very basic daily habit tracker. So instead of just putting things on here like I'm going to meditate every day, I'm going to, work out every day, you're going to make sure that you put your 5 goals down somewhere. So I know I don't have this. Maybe you do have this. Maybe this is the future. But find somewhere where you can track your daily progress, basically letting yourself know yes or no. Did it happen? Did I do the thing? The thing that is a little bit different about my daily habit tracker that I have not seen in a lot of other habit trackers is that you're going to put your habits here, and then at the bottom, you're going to write a statement. Maybe it's 1 sentence, maybe it's 5 sentences, but write to yourself why these habits are important. Why is this important for you to accomplish? Why is it important for you to take action on these habits? I don't know if you've heard of Start With Why by Simon Sinek, but that's what inspired this aspect of connecting with the why, because then that can be your driver. My hope is that you look at your daily habits, mark them off, and then reconnect with your why every single day. I'm choosing to do this because I want to have a strong, vibrant body to do the work that God has called me to do in the world. That's my why. What's your why? So take a moment, write a why statement for yourself on why these daily actions are important. All right. So as you log that you're doing these actions, you're going to take a little mindful moment to yourself. It's like, I took that walk, check it off. And then I'm going to thank myself. I'm going to appreciate myself. Elayna, I'm so grateful that you decided to take that walk today. Thank you for showing up and adding more vibrancy to your body, getting out in nature. I don't know if this is already a practice for you, but I've been doing this for like the last few weeks, and it's made a world of difference to love and appreciate myself after I take action. So that is one of the key things you're going to do as you're accomplishing these things. And so, of course, as you go through your week, you're gonna, track it down, and then pretty much at the end of the week, take a look. How did you do? Hold self-compassion for yourself if you didn't show up the way that you intended. You have another week to try again. And so show compassion and then evolve your approach for the next week. Maybe you reached one of your goals, and so there's a different goal that has taken that place, and you need to evolve the habits you're focusing on because there's a new goal. And so Just allow yourself each week to check in. If this is something you want to turn into a little challenge, then you could do like a 30-day challenge, 15-day challenge. Choose a sustainable amount of time that you want to track your progress and, just gamify it a little bit more for you. All right. So, I did this for myself. And one of the things I want to remind you is that whatever your goal is, it may be supportive to think about it as this is something I believe. This is something I choose to believe. I choose to believe that I can feel 50% more vitality and energy and endurance in my body. I choose to believe that. What we believe and what we do, those two things combined over time with consistency, create miraculous, amazing outcomes. And so keep in mind that you're choosing to believe that this goal is happening, and then you're choosing to show up for it every day with that daily action you chose for yourself. Woo-hoo-hoo. I hope you like it. Hope you like it. So now that we talked about the intention, we talked about the experiment, I'm now going to share with you a brief, like my review of something you may want to check out. Because I want to add a little bit more personality, more my style. I'm very much into pop culture, so I love music, I love movies, I love television, documentaries, the whole nine. And so I am going to be recommending to y'all in these episodes something you might want to check out. So if you've already been introduced to the show Sex Education on Netflix, there is the final season came out as of the recording of this. This is October 1st, 2023. But if you have never watched that show before and you do like shows that make you think a little bit about relationships and how you show up in them, this show is basically free therapy. Okay, like, not saying you can replace your therapy. Go to therapy. I go to therapy. Go to therapy. But what I really enjoyed about this show, especially the last season, is that it got me thinking about a lot of different topics. This last season covers sickness and death. It covers friendship, religion, motherhood, body dysphoria. Like, it covers so much. So anyone watching the show will be able to see a little bit of themselves in it. And I know for myself, there's three topics in particular. One about being queer and being a Christian. That was such an important topic that I rarely see covered on television, that I deeply appreciated their approach to that storyline. And then they talked about depression, and the importance of community, especially the importance of connecting with community when you're feeling lost. And then finally, that feeling of like you're losing a friend. There's these evolutions that happen in our friendships and things change. But it hurts sometimes. It doesn't feel comfortable for those things to change. And so if you haven't checked out the show, or if you haven't checked out that season, I recommend it. I enjoyed it. I thought that they did a pretty good job covering a lot of topics. And it really got me thinking deeply about how I want to address these things in my life. Now it's time for the remix. All right. So for the remix, you are choosing um, three things. We're just going to focus on three in this video. What are three things you'd want to do a little bit differently going into this next period of days that you have ahead? So I'm going to keep the same ones that I had from my last video, if you saw my last video. But basically, the statement that you're leveraging to trigger this thought of like how you might want to remix is the question of how dope would it be? How dope would it be? So for myself, how dope would it be for me to lean in to my true self? What would that look like? I've been leveraging this one for the past week, and I feel like I'm becoming more of my true self again. And so that's why I want to keep it. It's working. It's working. How dope would it be for me to trust my experience and my journey? For me to not resist and to fight my journey. It's making a world of difference. I'm already feeling like my my optimism, my hope, my level of effort showing up for y'all here on the YouTube, like all of that stuff's improving. And then my last one is, how dope would it be for me to embrace the moment? Just like that, just to be present. So take a moment, once again, pause, write down what your top three, how dope would it be, could be. What are some ways that you could show up a little bit differently in these days to come to help amplify the experience you're working to create? So remember, we chose that emotion earlier, and I had love. Maybe you want to amplify that feeling, and I can definitely amplify that by trusting my experience and my leaning into my true self. All right, we're at the end of the video. All right, so the very last thing I want to share is an angel card. So I picked this card today, just cut the deck, and this card was there, and it aligns so well with this intention of accountability that I was like, I must share it. The angel of responsibility. My ability to respond makes me feel accountable. I am joyfully responsible for my life. Whenever we use our ability to respond with our talents and capacities to all that is ascribed to us, we are being responsible. This can mean using those talents and abilities for good of all in a light and joyful way. Responsibility is only a burden when we forget to use our talents and cut ourselves off from the flow of spiritual energies that are always waiting to help us whenever we can respond. So just know that you are supported always. You always have that support for whatever you've committed yourself to. And when you respond with your talent, with your capacity, how much time do you have? How much energy do you have? When you come to the things that have been ascribed to you, they've been assigned to you, you have opted into those things. You're being responsible when you show up to those things. So know that you can joyfully be responsible for your life. I own my choices. That's the mantra. I own my choices. That's the mantra for this intention of accountability. Whenever you're encountering a moment, maybe you are not feeling so great about a choice that you made, what would it mean for you to be there in that moment to own it? Own the choice you made. Own what you're choosing for yourself. And I deeply hope that this video has helped your life, up-leveled your life, allowed you to relax just a little bit. You know, you did a little bit of reflection and you set up some new goals inside of the experiment today. And now you got 3 things that you want to remix and do a little bit differently to amplify that context of that emotion that you've chosen for yourself. So go forward and play back this video if you need to. But I hope that this has set a beautiful tone for the next few days. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Be well and breathe deep. See you next time.